businesses, whether they are large or small, need PR and communication. They need to manage their reputation. They need to understand how best to use influence. Now, I'll take it in two forms. The first form being, when you aspire to be something, what do? You copy. So you try to take learnings, you try to do similar and make it your own. So for smaller businesses, what they need to do is learn from the bigger businesses that are using communications, understand what they are getting right, and try to apply it in a context that works for them. So that's the first thing. Secondly, we live in a time where the world is so beautiful. Everything is at our fingertips. So now the world that small businesses were operating in is no longer confined to their physical community, which means that with a little strategy, with a little effort, these businesses are able to, one, develop a story, own platforms, and push that narrative and create and build communities that will help them to actually push their company's reputation organically. Now, the best part about doing that organically is that when it takes hold, that traction will grow and be strong, and the loyalty and the trust gained from that reputational effort is unmatched, such that you will find that a lot of small businesses are currently playing in the same field as larger businesses. And if small businesses don't realize that this is the world in which we are living in, they would really get left behind. They will continue to play in the small spaces that they are playing in. Social media, digital, is brilliant for small businesses at this very point in time. So it's just up to them to try to understand how best to capture and use it to their benefit. I think first and foremost, people, it's an excuse now, because PR is measurable. In the past, you could argue that it wasn't measurable because it was difficult to trace story impact and whatnot. But now, even with a simple survey, a survey conducted from your premises of people who walk into your premises, you are able to determine to some extent what impact your communication has made. So if we move away from the traditional means, we can talk about digital. So the advantages, if you do, let's use an example of stories online. If you do stories online, you are able to access platforms that give you an indication of how many eyeballs these stories, these platforms usually get. And then you're able to put together insights and numbers. So at this point, it's really a matter of understanding how to mine the data sources and how to maybe even create and develop avenues to record these data. And of course, exploring other avenues, for instance, comments under social media pages, those are all ways to measure. At the end of the day, if the business has capacity and resource, the business can make it a part of its strategy to have a perception audit every year. That could maybe sample just a small section of their business community or a large section of their business community, depending on their business might. And that becomes valuable data and insight that proves the return on investment on PR. So bottom line is the opportunity is out there. The important thing is to mine that opportunity, is to look for the ways that there are data sources and then pick those data sources and also think beyond the typical PR values and EAV metrics that are used currently. First and foremost, people are missing that authenticity value. So for CSR programs, if it doesn't look authentic, the people that you're targeting your program at will not interpret your actions as meaningful. So how do you craft that authenticity? You craft that authenticity by determining that the people that you're trying to support or the actions you're taking will really bring impact, will bring change, will push the needle. So it's important to craft CSR strategies by incorporating the opinions and the interests of the people that you're targeting. So a lot of times CSR programs are crafted in meeting rooms with brainstorms looking at insights. But what is missing often is conversations with the people that you are targeting. So you find that a lot of times some of the CSR programs are so beautiful in their outlook, but when they get there, they don't hit the spot for the people that they are targeting. So what's important is interacting, engaging, really getting involved with the people and crafting a CSR strategy with the people in mind. The world in which we live in, people expect to be communicated to in a manner that works for them. Back then, it was easier to get away with talking at people. Now that has changed. Even if you go to rural communities, they still expect you to sit with them. They expect you to listen to them and then act upon their opinions. And that's what's helpful when you are crafting a plan that is authentic. So it's not just about, here's what we think, we are telling you, we are throwing it at you. Secondly, it has to be sustained. So you'll find that a lot of businesses are now investing in what we call CSI, which is corporate social investment. And the investment implies that it's not just a one-off. So in order to see impact, you actually have to stay. So that staying power of the business, investing, ensuring outcomes by sticking, is essential in building that trust, is essential in sharing the value of the business with the community in which they are engaging. So that's what helps people to really take on board what the business is trying to push out there. It helps to relate adequately with their target audience. So you'll find that, especially for the younger generations, for millennials and Gen Zers, most of these young people, I'll call them young because millennials are now about almost 40, right? So these are people who have grown up expecting that businesses would make an effort. So when I say make an effort, will be corporate humans. So they're expecting to see human values. So you'll find that Gen Zers and millennials tend to trust and are loyal to businesses that they think invest in corporate social initiatives. They tend to feel better when they purchase items from businesses that are making an effort. So that also brings business value at the end of the day. Because if you are building your bottom line by people who are loyal to your business because of what you do in terms of your social responsibility initiatives, then absolutely, it's a great thing to do, and you're doing it right.